Welcome back to Chamber Exchange, the TV show. I want to thank our sponsors, Bank Hometown and St. Vincent Hospital. On our second segment, I want to welcome Sabrina Webb, who's the Development Director of Central Mass for the American Heart Association.
Thank you, Tim, for having us.
And then Jay Sear, who is the Senior Vice President for Peri-Op and Procedural Services at UMass Memorial Healthcare, but also who is Chair of the Heart and Stroke Walk. Welcome.
Thank you, Tim.
So the American Heart Association is celebrating 100 years of existence in June, and that's timed perfectly for a salute at our Chamber Breakfast Club, which is June 13th. But you've got a lot going on in June, and maybe, Sabrina, you could kick us off.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a very big birthday coming up, 100 years on June 10th. And when we take a minute and look back 100 years ago and see where we were, if heart disease was viewed as an inevitable fatality, really you were prescribed bed rest and there really wasn't any hope for further treatment. So when our founders got together, they really strongly believed that a comprehensive understanding of heart disease could lead and would lead to developments that could treat these conditions and ultimately save lives. In fact, one of our founders was a cardiologist, Paul Dudley White, who was from Roxbury, Mass, did a lot of work at Mass General. So this the Heart Association is very close to home. And you know, today not only do we have a multitude of treatments, but we also now know how to mitigate the risk of heart disease and stroke thanks to millions of the volunteers and supporters we have. And now going into our second century, we have a strong vision to advance health and hope for everyone everywhere, really taking a deep dive into our communities, understanding the disparities there, access to care, and nutrition and security.
Yeah, yeah. Well, health and hope is kind of what UMass Memorial Healthcare System is all about, Jay, and you know, the largest employer in Worcester County, and so much of, I think, the focus and messaging is not only responding and providing care, but also educating the community about preventative things that can be done to avoid taking over medical rooms and medical staff being overrun, as we saw a little bit during the COVID crisis. So maybe you could talk about UMass's involvement and why you've decided to chair the walk.
So I've been involved with Heart and Vascular at UMass, the Heart and Vascular Center of Excellence, for many years, and it always seems that when you're involved and you're a leader in that program, you have to kind of be involved in the Central Mass Heart and Stroke Association. So that has led me to be the chair this year. I've been the chair in the past, and we're very excited about that. And one of the big things, myself and many of my colleagues at UMass, what we do with some of the nursing schools in the area, Assumption being one of those, is we go out and teach hands-only CPR. We started with a challenge to the colleges, the greater Worcester area colleges. Have gone to high schools, large employers, and the reason behind that is for a while, people were very reluctant to jump in and do bystander CPR for lots of different reasons. And so actually Europe, ahead of us, realized that just doing hands only, just doing compressions was enough to save a person until an ambulance arrived. So we go out everywhere and teach kids from 4th, 5th, and 6th grade through college and employers and everywhere throughout central Massachusetts and northern Connecticut and other areas. And it's been a successful program. We think probably we've trained about 25,000 people over the last few years.
Wow, wow, and that makes a huge difference. I mean, Sabrina talked about the origins of the association, and some of that centered around some of the Boston hospitals, but healthcare is the largest employer in central Massachusetts. UMass Memorial, St. Vincent, and then Reliant and others. So you've got people with that knowledge, the ability to pass it on, empower people to take action, and then just given proximity, if people can get that type of proactive response from ordinary citizens, get them to the hospital, and you guys do great things.
Absolutely, yeah. We're very excited. One of the programs we have done, which is really coordinated with all of our community hospitals over the years, is our STEMI program. When people are having a heart attack, we knew how to treat them once they got there. The problem was, how do we get people from their home to an ambulance, sometimes to a community hospital, and then ultimately to our interventional cath lab at the university campus. So we organized that many years ago, and we know we've saved thousands of lives, but a lot of that was out in the community working with people, and it's really made a tremendous difference over the years.
And so if there are individuals that, people, want to learn more or have organizations where they want to, how can they get involved with the walk and some of the other programs that you run together with UMass and others?
Yes, absolutely. We're always looking for volunteers. We're always looking for leadership like Jay to step up and chair some of our events. And reaching out to me directly is pretty much the best way. And also going out to the website at heart.org, and then there's a Massachusetts page there that will lead you directly to Central Massachusetts. But there's no shortage of help that we need here in Central Mass.
Got it. And the walk is June 8th?
Yes.
The Heart and Stroke Walk, and the logistics on that, if people want to participate, help, contribute?
Yeah, absolutely. So if people want to sign up, it is not too late to form a team and get involved. They can visit centralmaheartwalk.org in order to register. It is going to be at Fitton Field this year, which is home of the Worcester Bravehearts, right on the Holy Cross campus. Starts at 8:30 a.m. and it's a very family-friendly event. It's also a very moving and heartwarming event. We celebrate our survivors in Central Mass. We celebrate those who might not be with us anymore and their memories, and we will have mascots, we will have games, lots of activities, and it wraps up around noon. So
got it.
Yeah.
And Jay, we mentioned COVID and how our hospitals and the workers at every level were heroes in responding to that crisis and the crunch that put on the healthcare system. People were hoping as that was kind of moved and we've kind of hopefully gotten by most of that challenge that COVID presented. It's presented another challenge, right? People who were not going in for ordinary preventative care or procedures, or just said, I'm not going to go in the hospital on a symptom. Now you're still pretty busy.
Oh, we're very busy. Our emergency rooms at both campuses are just overwhelmed with patients, and that's been the big change. It was always busy, but now it's at times it's really challenging to try to find a place for all those patients, as you said, Tim, who were probably not focusing on their health care for a while there. So that's coming back right now.
Yeah.
So lots of expansion going on to absorb those patients, and of course Worcester's growing, so all those things are a factor.
Right, right. And just to go back on you're talking about the compression piece, Nation of Life Savers, bystander CPR work. Maybe a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Nation of Lifesavers was put into place last summer, I want to say, and it is in light of Damar Hamlin. And so everybody remembers that moment in January of last year where he collapsed suddenly on the field. And so CPR saved his life. And the EMTs that were there right away and were able to administer those compressions, he really went through that chain of survival. And with that, he wants to raise awareness and education everywhere he can. So he is our leader in the Nation of Lifesavers, and that's what we do here in Central Mass, is look for any audience, companies, schools, community centers, wherever we can, because you don't need to be certified in CPR in order to save a life. It takes 2 minutes to learn, and you never know. We were at a organization where we were running a CPR demo and an office, and 2 days later an employee went into cardiac arrest, and her coworker who sat at the desk next to her had saved her life. So you never know when it's going to come in.
That's right. That's right. Well, we just want to give people, maybe one last opportunity for people. Is there a website? How they get in touch? The walk? What can they do?
Yeah, absolutely. So for the walk, the website is centralmaheartwalk.org, and they can reach out directly to me. My name is Sabrina Webb. It's sabrina.webb@heart.org, and also we're on the socials: Instagram, Facebook, American Heart MA, and also on X as well.
Great. Sabrina Webb, Development Director of Central Mass for the American Heart Association. Jay Sear, the Chair of the Heart and Stroke Walk, but also Senior VP for Peri-Op and Procedural Service at UMass Memorial Healthcare. Thanks for a really informative discussion.
These days, you've got your hands full in life. That's why we help you bank simply and securely with tools like Face ID and Touch ID. It's why we make it easy to make purchases on the go and get cash back while you're at it. why we help you quickly deposit checks wherever you are. And it's why we lend a hand with sending and receiving money right from your phone. So even when you're on the move, you can manage your finances. Bank Hometown. Unlock your potential.